Welcome to this week's episode of Your Stock Request for the 11th of May. Hi, I'm Gable, Managing Director of Fairmont Equities. Your Stock Request is the weekly video where I take your requests and analyse the share price charts. So this week we have Boss Energy, Appen, Cyrus Resources, Anson Resources and Santos. So if you have a request, please send it through. Make sure you've signed up to the free newsletter, but if you do enjoy these videos, we'd love you to share them on social media or even leave us a review. Just a reminder, our main stock tips come out every Tuesday in the Dynamic Investor Report, so make sure you are getting that report. Our main business is in portfolio management, so if you'd like to have a broking account with me and have me guide you with the buying and the selling, then please let me know. And all the advice here is general only. So we've got a weekly chart here of Boss Energy. As we could see, sort of for nearly a couple of years now, it's sort of made no real progress, but just a real sort of messy chart, very wide ranges on the weekly. If we just zoom into the daily chart, look, momentum's good at the moment, good volumes on these up days, but it has come a long way in a short period of time. So look, it'd still be a hold, but I think to buy it, I wouldn't be chasing it here. And of course it's coming up to an old high, so you'd have to wait for the next consolidation before buying. Okay, Appen, obviously if we pull up a weekly chart, it's come back a long way. Look, most recently it looked like it was forming a base, and we could see here it was sort of consolidating under this sort of major resistance level. So I guess this is a good example of a stock where it looked like it could have potentially been a buy on an upside break, but you don't want to preempt it because, as we could see, it never gave you that break. We had that big drop yesterday, big volume, so that's obviously a negative sign. Look, chances are it continues lower. It would be interesting to see what it does as it gets near the old low. Do we see buying come in? Is this it? But of course we don't want to fall into this trap here where it gives you a bit of a bounce but then resumes the downtrend. So I think for any sort of buying opportunity, given this move here, it's off the cards for a while. Okay, Cyrus, so we could see in the last few months it sort of got itself into a downtrend. It's really accelerated in the last few weeks, quite a lot of volume as well. So again, for something like this to be a buy, it's going to have to do a bit more work. So you might get the odd oversold bounce, but this will need to base build for a while. So again, probably not on a short-term radar. Anson Resources, this one actually looks interesting. So we had this rally here and it's sort of eased back and it's sort of come back to that major breakout that we had last year. So it's sort of come back to that level, and as we could see here in the last sort of few weeks or so, formed a little bit of a base, and then yesterday was a clear break, so gap up, good volume. You can see the gap up, the volume. So it should basically just continue higher here. So I still think, given this only happened yesterday, it should still be a buying opportunity here with a tight stop, and we'll see how high it can go. And finally, Santos. As we could see, since the start of the year, it's sort of leveled out, which is good. There's obviously a resistance level around 680, a little bit of a false break. But it hasn't kicked on. What is interesting is seems to be spending more time now at the upper end of this sort of channel. So that's a positive. The only time it got near the lower end was last week, and it quickly reversed. So look, there's a clear channel. It's just a case of an upside break here is a buy and a downside break here is a sell. Okay, well that's all for this week. If you have a request, send it through and I'll try to cover it next Thursday.